episode of Modern Bok. Thank you for joining me today. So yeah, day 9 done. What a day for rugby in general. Obviously, I've already done a video on the Irish and Japanese game. Just one more comment I want to add. Is there something about Japanese people and Japanese teams and green? Like, if they want to just let us know that they don't like the colour, we can wear different coloured jerseys when we play against them. Like, they don't have to be so mean about it. Like, wow. But anyway, let's get into this game. Before we get into it, please comment, share, subscribe, and all those good things down below. So yes, the Argentina-Tonga game was a good one. I was actually quite impressed with Tonga's performance, and as an Argentinian fan, I'd be sad hearing me say that. The first 30 minutes I'd say, Argentina were dominating. I mean, Montoya goes for a hat-trick, effectively. 7 minutes and 19 minutes, just like try. It was really beautiful from Argentina's side, and take the lead up, really stunning performance, forward dominance for sure. And I could see it felt like the Tongan forwards just couldn't compete with the Argentinians, and it showed that. It's nice to see as Argentinian fans. Obviously, they've had a massive losing streak of late. To see that, I'm sure, as an Argentinian fan, and that well-deserved win in the end. But I do think, as an Argentinian fan, what you would be concerned about is that they definitely pulled the pedal off. Also, at the end of the first half, that try-saving tackle was not a try-saving tackle. It was a no-arms tackle. That should be a penalty try. But my opinion, it was just a case of Tonga then second half really coming back into us. They started performing well, scored a try in the second half, and they won the second half, actually. As a Tongan supporter, this half would be making me very proud. It was just a continuous barrage of Tongan attack. I mean, in the end, it was a domination, like 60, I think it was 70-something% to 30 possession and territory in the first half, where the second half ended up being 50-50. They just definitely came into the game, came into their own, and I was quite surprised to see that from a Tier 2 nation. I don't know if it was part of the strategy to slow into it, and unfortunately they just let the lead get away from them. That try in the second half could have maybe changed the game. So I feel a little bit for the Tongan supporters, but as an Argentinian fan, you did get the bonus point, and it was a very good performance. The overall thing, it was a case of misconversion. Some misconversions only didn't help. The last 10 minutes, yeah, it was 71% to Tonga in the last 10 minutes, 28% possession and territory. That shows just how much the Tongans really came into it in the end. They really started to perform and started to bring the game to them, and it's nice to see that from a Tier 2 nation, started keeping the full 80 going. In the end, it was pretty even though. But one thing that as an Argentinian fan I'd be very concerned about is tackles missed. They was effectively about a 75% tackle ratio, successful tackle ratio, which is not good for a Tier 1 nation, especially if you compare that to the Tongans' 95% in the end. They really, the missed tackles they had in the beginning hurt them. There was a few, but then they solidified their entire game, and I was quite impressed with their performance. I think that they can definitely be proud of it, considering the pool they're in. It's tough, and as a French supporter, I'd be concerned about this because they really gave it to them. So, yeah, from the Argentinian side, there's some definite positives. I felt Sanchez actually hurt the game, something they need to look at. He was making odd mistakes, and he really wasn't able to close the game out as they expected, and I think that was the whole coaching idea. But Montoya was good, hat-trick try, congrats to him. It was a good performance, but there's a lot of things that Argentinians do work on. Hopefully this just builds on their confidence. Their forwards really show that they can. I felt like the backline of Argentina just didn't arrive, and hopefully they can in the next game. Okay, so the next game, the South African-Namibia game. Whoo-wee! We knew it was going to be a beating, but they really arrived. Considering that a lot of changes to the South African team, I was worried a little bit about the gelling, and it wasn't super smooth, I'm not going to lie. South African supporter, there was a lot of shakiness and some erraticness, but you could see that the South African team, as I thought, were there to run the ball. I mean, this is not at all a South African style of play. To be fair, I'd like them to see them play them more like this, although I think it showed our rustiness and our ability to do it, as we had quite a bit of knock-ons and quite a bit of lost balls in those positions, and definitely put ourselves under pressure when we didn't need to. In the end, we didn't concede any tries, so it's good, but I felt like it wasn't a clinical performance of South Africa. It was just trying to effectively forwards run over them, and then backline do some funky moves. That was like the strategy of the game. And in the end, it worked. I mean, 57-3 is no joke. The Namibians lost 3 of their scrums, which definitely hurt them. Possession, I mean, we're talking like almost 80% in the last 10 minutes, but territory was 71-29, 517 meters run to 136. South Africa only made 70 tackles, 73 tackles, but 10 of them missed. That's why I was talking about that open play looseness that I'm concerned about. It's not a style we love to play, and it worked today, but Japanese victories happen if you are a little too cocky in your performance. But in the end, it did work out. But Namibia, I definitely think we'll have to look at their tackle. I mean, 130 tackles, but 36 of them missed. Definitely looks a little odd on their record, and they need to look at that. South Africa had some amazing X-Factor runners that definitely pulled things off there. Yeah, I think in the end, what I really loved about this game and really was important about this game for South African performance is showing some of the performances that we could bring into it. What concerned me, before I get into the players I liked in this game, what concerned me heavily was Jantjies' kicking again. He unfortunately just has an inconsistent boot. Some of the kicks were in the exact same place as previous kicks, yet he shanks the one, gets the other. So I'm just... 3 missed conversions in a World Cup is the difference between a win and a lose in some games. So, and considering there was no real pressure on him, I find that that's something he really needs to work on. He did definitely give a lot of good game ball. He definitely put a lot of players into good space. So in open play, he was very strong. And I think that's definitely due to his ability as a fly-off when it comes to when the forwards are dominant. And our South African forwards were definitely dominant. Lotjoche, Ergens Neyman, Beast, Koch, even De Toy. We had, oh my gosh, and let's not even forget about Skull Brits. The guy's a legend. I mean, what a performance from a 38-year-old man. He took 8th man and made it his own. I'm not saying that he's the world's best 8th man, don't get me wrong. Like, it was a team that definitely you could do that, but he just took the position and made it his own. He led from the front, and I was really impressed to see that. And honestly, I'd like to see him on the field more. He just got there, and he got his try. Woo! So overall, good performance from him. Other players I loved in this game was Mpimpi, again, really just athlete. I find he doesn't always put himself in the right spaces. And Nkosi was great to see. Herschel Jantjies, again, what like precision passes to get players into space. He continues to impress me in that position. And his kicks were pinpoint, every time contestable. It just really put Namibia under so much pressure they just buckled. Franstein had some fun kicks. I felt like he wasn't amazing on attack, but he had a good break, good couple of runs. Again, solid runner, definitely drew a lot of defenders and got Nkosi and Mpimpi out wide. So really good. It's nice to see a 9-try win for South Africa, and it's all about just building on this now as a team. I mean, we can't take this, obviously take it as face value. It is Namibia, but South African, I'm definitely very impressed in just the kind of quality performance, and getting the players some time to express themselves on the field is really nice to see. Getting into tomorrow, okay, we've got Uruguay versus Georgia. So obviously Georgia just had a bit of a nice rest against having played Wales. A little bit demolished, but I felt like they stabilized it in the end. It wasn't terrible. Wales' clinical performance from them, really impressive. And the other side, Uruguay come off their first World Cup win, and they could take down Fiji. So, wow. Unfortunately, though, they have a very quick turnaround in this game. They're pretty much playing almost like a couple of days afterwards. I don't think they have the depth to be able to perform, and they really were like on their last legs in that Uruguay and the Fijian game. So I'd love to see them continue their streak, but unfortunately, I'm definitely still on the Georgian side. I just think they're going to be able to pull it through. They will be able to dominate them a little bit more, and I think they'll take this game with a lot more serious, like a lot more seriously than they might have going forward. This is a game that I feel Georgia are going to. I've been targeting to win in their World Cup, so I'd like to see them do that. On the other side, Uruguay have garnered a lot of fans, and from a stunning performance against Fiji, and something that they can hold high. I just worry that unfortunately they're going to have some fitness issues that they're going to have to contend with going into this game, especially in the last 30 minutes. So yeah, I'm going to definitely go for Georgia, but promising, always good to see, and I hope that Uruguay can continue their performance in this World Cup. And the game of the weekend, in my opinion, although to be fair, sorry, Wales, Australia, you lost that title now. You did. It's just a fact. Game of the weekend now goes to Japan, Ireland. But still a stunning game to watch. And that's what's loved about this World Cup. Australia, Wales is a tough one. History is definitely on Australia's side. But on the other side, we've got some stunning performances from our Wales recently. The last one is in Wales' favour, and I think they're definitely the team that's more on form. Comments aside from Michael Checker and all of that, they don't have Hodge. I think the Australian team is very, very good. Got a couple of star players in it that nobody can sit down for. Pocock, Kuraberi, Kurivi, De Horopei. They've just got some like really good ones. On the other side, you've got Alan Wynne-Jones. It's just, whew, there's players coming out of the woodwork for both of these teams. So I think the biggest thing is like Josh Adams versus Kiribati is going to be a massive battle. Both of these players are going to try and beat their respective. Josh Adams versus Kiribati is going to be a massive battle. Both of them are going to try and get the best of the other man, find another playing against Michelle, but still, you've got Georgia North, just a stunning playmaker, X factor that you cannot imagine. And Dan Bigg is going to try and fix his kick. I promise you this time he'll probably get them all over, just because he doesn't need another highlight reel. So that's just, whew. Then obviously you've got Foley playing 10 versus Bigger. I think that's going to be a good battle. I think Bigger's got this on him, and that's where I think one of the biggest things is going to be between these two teams, being able to compete. But then you've got Genia against Davies. Genia had a good game against Fiji, and a lot of questions have been brought now about that Australian game, because I felt like Australia performed very well. Any Australian game against Fiji like that would be acceptable, except for the fact that Fiji got to lose a couple of days later to Uruguay. So that does put a lot of question marks in there, and that's why I'm still going to stick to Wales in a win here. But a couple of really strong performances here, and let's face it, this game just has so many ways it can go. Australia could definitely win this if they just arrive with their best team and their best mindset, and the culture is right for them. On the other side, Wales have got the team to win this. They've won, they beat them recently, they have the on-form team, and there's some really X-factor players, and especially if they have the precision attack that they had against Georgia, no team can sit down to that. So that's why I love this game, and I'm quite excited to see it happen. So that's kind of my opinions on the games for tomorrow. Please leave your comments down below. Please share. Please like. If there's anything else you want to say in these games, any discussions, and let's get into it in the comments below. Thanks, guys.